जब तक भ्रष्टाचार के इश्यू को हर आदमी उसके खिलाफ होता है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी में हुआ तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समय के स्पेसिफिक जो है उनकी कार्रवाई ऐसी भी करती है। रहा कांग्रेस में कभी ऐसी चीज अशोक गहलोत जी के नेतृत्व में राजस्थान में नहीं रही। अभी भी जो चीज तथ्य होंगे उस पर कार्रवाई होगी। आम आदमी भी बैठता है अनशन पे, तो ये तो अपना अधिकार, वो पूर्व सेंट्रल मिनिस्टर रहे, प्रदेश अध्यक्ष रहे, हमारे डिप्टी सीएम रहे, तो चीज उठा रहे हैं तो कोई चीज तथ्य होगा तो ही उठा रहे हैं। अशोक गहलोत जब सीएम रहे कभी भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप नहीं लगे तो साफ कभी भी चैनल पे ऐसी चीज आ गई तो जब सच्चाई का पता लगा तो कभी भी ऐसी चीज नहीं की। उन्होंने पारदर्शिता से काम किया।
Cutting across to my colleague Nikhil, who's tracking all the details from Jaipur, from ground zero. Nikhil, just few minutes ago, you were at the protest site where that dharna was happening. Sachin Pilot also briefly spoke to the press and media. What's happening right now, and what has Sachin Pilot indicated through his words and his actions?
So Anusha, we are reporting currently from inside the official residence of Sachin Pilot, former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan. So at this particular place, at this official residence, you can see a sea of workers of the supporters of Pilot camp. They have already arrived here. So all the workers who were present here at the protest site, they have come here from that particular place towards the official residence. And we are expecting that after taking a short break, because from 11 to 4 p.m. Sachin Pilot was carrying out this hunger protest. So now he is going to take a moment of break. He is going to rest as well, and after a while he is going to meet all his supporters who have come here from different parts of the state, and not just the Tonk place, because Tonk is one such place which is said to be the constituency and stronghold of Sachin Pilot, but there are other districts as well from where the supporters of Sachin Pilot have come here to extend their support for the leader who sat on the protest. But as far as the future course of action is concerned from the Sachin Pilot side, we have been given to understand, and this is something which has been mentioned by the highly placed sources inside the Congress party as well, that the senior leaders, including that of General Secretary of the Congress party, Priyanka Gandhi Wadhwa, she reached out to Sachin Pilot when asked to him. Sachin Pilot, he refused to comment on the same, whether anyone has gotten in touch with him or not. But yes, he also said that some kind of action was said this morning by the in charge of the Congress party for the state of Rajasthan, but this is something which we will see in the next couple of days, because today as well, if you go by the details, Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa, who is the Congress in charge for Rajasthan, he was supposed to be present here in the Jaipur city. He was also supposed to meet Sachin Pilot as well, but because of some last moment changes, he has not arrived here, and they were all looking keenly over the developments which
and what
were
kind of
set to take
intervention
place
can happen from the party high command is a wait and watch. Nikhil, stay with us on the broadcast. I'll just come back to you. Pallavi Ghosh is also joining us on the show, getting us more perspective on that story. Pallavi, what kind of intervention from the party high command that we can see? Priyanka Gandhi Wadhwa in touch, the party high command watching very closely. What do you anticipate in the next few hours?
See, I think Sachin Pilot has been very careful, and he's made that clarification that no way is he taking on Ashok Gehlot. All he's raising is the issue is of corruption, and corruption by the Vasundhara Raje government. But if you listen to what his soundbite said a short while back, that he said that I've written 2 letters and I've usually got a prompt response, but this time round I did not get a prompt response. So, but having said that, Anusha, this is where the problem begins for the Congress party. On one hand, you clearly called it an anti-party activity. If you go in by the letter which was issued yesterday, therefore you should take a disciplinary action against him if you go by the rule book for indulging in that anti-party activity. But on the other hand, he's raising the issue of corruption in the Vasundhara Raje government. So there are 2 problems over here. One, you are talking about a fight against corruption. So how can you take action against him? Second, at a time when you're facing some exit from the party, or exit of Sachin Pilot or taking action against him will be seen like a party which is in jeopardy, which does not have control over its narrative, and where criticism will certainly mount, especially on Rahul Gandhi.
Pallavi, Sachin Pilot will not stop at this dharna. If he wants something more out of the party in the run-up to the elections, or if he's made up his mind, he will make more moves. And I'm sure the party is well aware of, that this is a situation that can go out of hand. If you were to watch Sachin Pilot carefully, how do you gauge his strategy? What are you hearing from people close to him?
I think by more or less by now, he has adjusted and accepted the fact that, he may not be made the chief minister immediately because we just have a couple of months left to go, and it's essentially a lamed up government. What his supporters, of course, will never ever accept that. They would still want him to become the CM. Well, what happens now? Well, I mean, the predictable question which I would be asked is he going to be joining the BJP? But if you look at the setup of the BJP, clearly that election, even if they don't announce a CM face, it's going to be about Vasundhara Raje. It's going to be about other leaders of the party as well. So what space is it going to be for Sachin Pilot, who will be seen as an outsider? There is, of course, a possibility that if push comes to shove, he may actually float his own political outfit. But I think as of now, he would very much want to be a part of the Congress party, see a future in it. And certainly he's going to flex his muscles and also make the point to the top leadership that if you cannot do without me, you expect me to go and campaign for you wherever you want me to do so. There's something which I should also be given in return.
Pallavi, my last question to you. Is he looking for some kind of assurance from the Congress party that give me this post the elections if the government were to be formed?
Well, if you speak to him and if you ask people close to him, they say absolutely not hungry for power. But you cannot blame a politician for coveting a post. And I'm sure he understood the time is running out. You just have 5 to 6 months left to go. Election dates will be announced, which means effectively, Anusha, all key decisions have been taken by Ashok Gehlot. With just 2 months left to go, no one listens to you. No one from the administration, no one at the district level, and even your party doesn't listen to you. So in terms of calculation, it makes little sense for him to become the chief minister. I think in an ideal situation, he would want what Channi got really in Punjab. He's announced as the CM face, or at least a suggestion goes forward from the Congress party that he could be the CM in case the party comes back to power in the state.
All right. Thank you, Pallavi, for getting us all the details. I also want to cut across to our guests who are joining us on the broadcast. Tushar Gupta, who's the senior editor of the Swaraj magazine, and Ravi Srivastav, who's a political analyst, are joining us on the show. Tushar, first to you. This is a crisis in the Congress party, a deja vu of sorts. We have seen it before. But in the run-up to the elections, so close to Rajasthan Assembly elections, it can cost the Congress party very dearly. But, once again, all those allegations that this is created by the BJP or the BJP is going to take advantage of it, those allegations, those arguments haven't really died down.
Look, one could have said that this is the doing of the BJP, but we've already seen this game play out in Madhya Pradesh. Remember the quote Rahul Gandhi had put up with the picture of Kamal Nath and Jyotiraditya Scindia? Time and patience. That's clearly not working in Rajasthan. In Punjab, the same story played out. Punjab, there was no BJP. Navjot Singh Sidhu was flown in to replace Captain Amrinder Singh. But when the time came, he was then replaced by Charanjit Singh Channi. And Anusha, it only validates what I've been saying for a very long time now, that the Congress is a party which is confused in its core. Now, the simple question before the Congress here is, can Ashok Gehlot win them the election later this year? Can Ashok Gehlot get them at least 10 seats in the Lok Sabha next year? If he cannot, they have to start thinking about the future. Now, Sachin Pilot, who has been in a rebel mode, not just today, earlier also. Simple question. Can he win the state alone? Winning it on behalf of Ashok Gehlot or under his leadership is a different thing. But can Sachin Pilot be the mass leader of the people in Rajasthan, win those 110 odd seats alone? If yes, the Congress should start backing him, because at some point, they have to start thinking about the future. Ashok Gehlot has got his 3 terms as the chief minister. What's next for him? What's next for Sachin Pilot? So it's the same mistake that keeps repeating itself within the party leadership. But at the end, the question that needs to be asked is, can Sachin Pilot win Rajasthan alone? Well, if he could have, he would have already deflected or made an independent party. But right now, he comes across as someone who just wants to be heard, just wants to, get the theatrics going. But can he win those 100 seats? I'm not very sure.
Can he win those 100 seats? Does he have that political caliber? Of course, that's the million-dollar question, Tushar. You rightly point that out. Ravi Srivastav ji, coming to you. This is an infighting that the Congress party has been finding it very difficult to control. Yes, last time they were able to salvage the situation. Whatever damage could have possibly been done, that was controlled with the intervention of Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. And this time again, the party high command, including Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, has intervened in this crisis. But Sachin Pilot looks unfazed. He says, I am raising the issue that concerns the people of Rajasthan. These are corruption issues and I'm going to raise them. But it does put him and pitch him against Ashok Gehlot, not so much against the BJP.
Anusha, first of all, I disagree to consider it kind of an infighting. I mean, that's a wrong word because if the Indian National Congress is not a party which has any dictator ruling it, where nobody can open the mouth. Here, all the leaders have got the opportunity. They can raise their voices. The high command or leadership will listen to it. So that happens. Now, this is all BJP sponsored events. If you recall 2 years before, Sachin Pilot had a similar kind of a dissatisfaction with the Gehlot government. He was taken to Faridabad and camping there for 3 days and 4 days, and all those things happened. So it was all BJP sponsored drama because
Raviji,
they are
I respect your independence of thought and the fact that you have a point of view, but let me contradict you there. If it were happening in one state or another, or it was just a scattered example, say in Rajasthan, one would believe that theory that BJP is engineering it. But it's happening in different states across the country. And if your political opponents are taking advantage of the differences that exist within your party, then it's not on your political opponent, it's upon you. The second point that I want to raise, you must have worked in an organization. I work in an organization. And even if we have difference of opinion or a different point of view when it comes to a particular organization, there are platforms and ways to communicate that. You cannot go public about it. That shows indiscipline. That shows lack of leadership. That shows unprofessionalism of a certain nature. And that's exactly what has been visible in the Congress party. So I don't think one can hide behind all those arguments that, oh, this is about democracy. This is not about democracy. This is about indiscipline and lack of unity within the party.
I hope you heard clearly Sachin Pilot. He said that he has been writing letters, but last 2 letters he did not get any reply. So he thought of bringing it to public domain. Now here my question is, how come it is constituted that it is against Ashok Gehlot? He is raking up the issues of the sand, the land mafia, the mining mafia, the Sanjeevani scheme. So many scams happened in Vasundhara Raje's tenure. So those issues he is raising against, and those issues cannot be proved by local state government. Those issues need intervention by the central probing agencies like ED or like a CBI and all those. So I think he is raking up the issues so that those central agencies start the investigations against Vasundhara Raje. So this is his issue. And today I think one thing is very sure, that Sachin Pilot is not going to leave Congress anyway. I think that had
Mr.
not happened.
Srivastava, can I tell you where I draw that conclusion that this is an infighting within the Congress? I draw it from the statement of the Congress party in charge, who has the Congress party high command, which has called this an anti-party activity. They are not seeing it some kind of democratic platform where views are being expressed. Tushar, denial suits in the public discourse. That's what the Congress party has done earlier as well, downplayed their problems or spoken of the political opponents or sometimes the media for creating or hallucinating about these problems which very well exist within the party. That hasn't helped them. But what is it within the Congress party? Is it just the lack of leadership or complete absence, of some kind of a connect with the leaders on the ground that's leading to one crisis after another?
Anusha, imagine how bad the situation in Rajasthan is that my dear friend Ravi Srivastava cannot spin it into an anti-BJP rant. Nevertheless, look, the problem with the Congress is, and I want to remind Raviji here, you do not call a Gaddar to someone who's merely protesting within the party. You say there is a lot of democracy, people are heard. People are heard and then they're called Gaddar. Sachin Pilot was called a Gaddar just 6 months ago for his anti-party activity, which the Congress called anti-party activity.
I'll come to you.
But Anusha, you're spot on. The Congress is disconnected from the pulse of the people. My simple question is there that Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot may have a lot of differences. That's very normal for a political party. But what's the future of the Congress in Rajasthan? It's still one of those states where they have some significant presence. What is the future they're looking for? They want a CM who has nothing new to offer. We all saw the kind of protests which happened with the new health bill that came out. What is the Lok Sabha future? What do they want Sachin Pilot to do for the next 10, 15, 20 years? There is no thought process. Instead, they're doing absolutely nothing. It appears to me that the Congress has decided to not do anything would be to do something. But this is what happened in Madhya Pradesh. Scindia waited and waited and waited and eventually he gave up. He moved towards the BJP. Now, people say that Sachin Pilot is ideologically very inclined towards the Congress. He might be, but then there is nothing stopping him from forming an independent party. Perhaps, who knows, play a king player in Rajasthan in the future. If he decides to play a king player, have an independent party, where is he going to, play his cards, if you think about it? But at the end, my simple question is that, what is the family at 10 Janpat doing? Why are we seeing this happening again and again? Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka, there is infighting. What we saw in UP and Bihar, the cadre is not aligned with the leadership of the party. And now Rajasthan. How many times are we going to see the same story repeat itself? Why can't Congress take some hard decisions? No one knows.
Mr. Ravi Srivastava, you had a point to make. Finish your point, please.
First of all, I call the co-panelist a co-panelist. I don't name them. See, my co-panelist is worried about the infighting in the Congress. Why are you worried about it? The Congress is doing very well. The Ashok Gehlot third term is going on. The right to health is a bill which is unique in the whole country. He is doing wonders as far as the state is concerned. And as far as your DK Shivkumar and Sitharaman fight is concerned, they both are tall leaders. They have already cleared that the assembly, the new MLAs will elect a new leader. There is no infighting at all. This is all infighting. This is a media created infighting.
So why Sachin Pilot called Gaddar? Why Sachin Pilot called Gaddar, Mr. Srivastava? Why Sachin Pilot called Gaddar? You keep giving spin to everything. You keep spinning away everything without any rational logic.
Mr. Ravi Srivastava, Tushar Gupta, gentlemen, please continue to stay with us on the broadcast. Debate far from over. Rahul Gandhi, the Congress leader, is speaking right now. We're cutting across line.
P. Kunyalukurti ji, Ramesh Chenithala ji, K. Muralidharan ji, M.M. Hassan ji, N.K. Premachandran ji, Padma Shri Cherugayal Raman ji, Kalpata Narayanan Master ji, Ketapuram Damodran Nambudri ji, Joy Matthew, P. Surendran ji, brothers and sisters, friends, I'd like to welcome all of you to this meeting here today.
വേദിയിൽ സന്നിഹിതരായിരിക്കുന്ന ഉന്നതരായ രാഷ്ട്രീയ സാമൂഹ്യ സാഹിത്യ നായകരെ, പ്രിയപ്പെട്ട സഹോദരി സഹോദരങ്ങളെ, ഞാൻ അങ്ങേയറ്റം സന്തോഷത്തോടെ നിങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വരുന്നു. നിങ്ങളേവരെയും സ്വാഗതം ചെയ്യുന്നു.
I'd like to wish all of you belated Easter and for the coming Vishu and Perunal festivals.
നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഏവർക്കും ഹൃദയംഗമമായ ഈസ്റ്റർ, വിഷു, പെരുന്നാൾ ആശംസകൾ ഞാൻ നേരുകയാണ്.
Four years ago, I came here and became your member of parliament.
4 വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് ഞാൻ ഇവിടേക്ക് കടന്നു വന്നു, നിങ്ങളുടെ പാർലമെന്റ് അംഗമായി മാറി.
And for me, the campaign was a completely different type of campaign.
എന്നെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് എൻ്റെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് പ്രചരണം അങ്ങേയറ്റം വ്യത്യസ്തമായ ഒന്നായിരുന്നു.
In the regular campaign, and I've done many campaigns, many speeches. In the regular campaign, you go and you speak about policies, you speak about what should happen, you tell people about your political ideas. But this campaign in 2014, I remember when I came here, it was much more as if I had come home to my family.
സാധാരണഗതിയിലുള്ള എൻ്റെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് പ്രചരണങ്ങൾ പ്രസംഗങ്ങൾ നിറഞ്ഞതാണ്. എൻ്റെ രാഷ്ട്രീയ നയങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച്, ഞാൻ നടപ്പിലാക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളെക്കുറിച്ച്. പക്ഷേ വയനാട്ടിലെ എൻ്റെ തിരഞ്ഞെടുപ്പ് പ്രചരണം അതിനപ്പുറമായിരുന്നു. ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വരികയായിരുന്നു.
Of course, I don't belong to Kerala, but the enthusiasm and the affection and the manner in which you embraced me gave me the feeling that you are part of my family, that I am your brother, your son.
നിങ്ങൾക്കറിയാം, ഞാൻ കേരളത്തിൽ നിന്നല്ല. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി വന്നപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ നൽകിയ സ്നേഹോഷ്മളമായ സ്വീകരണങ്ങൾ, നിങ്ങളുടെ വികാര പ്രകടനങ്ങൾ എനിക്കുണ്ടാക്കിയ ചിന്ത ഞാൻ നിങ്ങളുടെ സഹോദരനാണ് എന്ന ചിന്തയാണ്.
And I have thought quite a lot. Now I have been member of parliament for quite a few years, and I've thought quite a lot what it means to be a member of parliament.
ഞാൻ ഇന്ത്യൻ പാർലമെന്റിൽ മുമ്പ് അംഗമായിരുന്നു. ഇന്ത്യൻ പാർലമെന്റ് അംഗം എന്ന അനുഭവത്തിലൂടെ എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഒരു പാർലമെന്റ് അംഗം ആകുന്നതിന് നിരവധി ഗുണങ്ങൾ ആവശ്യമാണ്, നിരവധി കാര്യങ്ങൾ അറിയേണ്ടതുണ്ട്.
It means to be a people's representative.
ഒരു പാർലമെന്റ് അംഗം ജനങ്ങളുടെ പ്രതിനിധിയായിരിക്കണം.
To be a people's representative, you have to understand the emotions of people. You have to understand the suffering of people. You have to understand the difficulties of people.
ഒരു പാർലമെന്റ് അംഗമാകുന്നതിന്, ഒരു ജനപ്രതിനിധിയാകുന്നതിന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ജനങ്ങളുടെ വികാരങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കണം, അവരുടെ ദുരിതങ്ങൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കണം, അവർ കടന്നു പോകുന്ന ദുർഘടമായ സന്ധികളെ കുറിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ടതുണ്ട്.
You have to have the humility to touch people, to treat people as your equals, sometimes to treat people as your superiors.
നിങ്ങളുടെ ജനങ്ങളുടെ ഹൃദയത്തെ സ്പർശിക്കാൻ സാധിക്കണം. ജനങ്ങളോടൊപ്പമാണ്, തുല്യരാണ് എന്ന് കരുതേണ്ടി വരും. ചിലപ്പോൾ ജനങ്ങളെ നമുക്ക് മുകളിൽ പ്രതിഷ്ഠിക്കേണ്ടി വരും.
So a true representative of the people develops by attacking himself.
സ്വയം ആക്രമിച്ചു.
While cutting across to some developments coming in, Mr. Boma is addressing a presser in Delhi after several rounds of meeting. The final list has been prepared. This candidate list will be released in 2 phases. The first list will have the majority of the seats. The details will be put out very shortly. Listen in to what Mr. Boma said.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಈಶ್ವರಪ್ಪ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪತ್ರ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಚುನಾವಣೆಯ ರಾಜಕಾರಣದಿಂದ
to our national president that he wants to step aside from electoral politics.
ಈಗ ನಾವು ತಾವೇನು ತಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಪಟ್ಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್
And
ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ.
he's asked the national president to excuse him or not consider him for the first list that the BJP is speaking.
ಹಲವಾರು ತಿಂಗಳ ಖಾಸಗಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇತ್ತು.
He had said this to me personally for the last several months.
ಆದರೆ ನಾವೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನುಭವ ಮತ್ತು ಸರ್ವಿಸಿನ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಾವು ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀತಿ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸದಿಂದ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಆದರೆ ಅವರು ಬಹುತೇಕವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಿಮವಾದಂಥ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿ
He's taken a final decision
ಪತ್ರ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
not to contest, and he's conveyed it to the national president.
ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಮುಖರು ಕೆಲವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಮಾತುಕತೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದರೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ನನ್ನ ಪತ್ರ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ ಒಪ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋಂಥ ಒತ್ತಾಯವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರು ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದೇನು ತೋರಿಸ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ,
Well, that's the word coming in from Mr. Basraj Bomai. Cutting across to my colleague Harish Upadhyay for more perspective. Harish, a hugely anticipated list. The first list is out today. Tell us the key takeaways.
Well, in a short while from now, the first list will be out. As Bomai indicated, majority number of the seats out of 224 will be announced in this list. The takeaway or the hint one gets from Mr. Bomai's this presser is that there will be several senior MLAs who perhaps will be shown the door. The BJP will ask them to step aside. We already know K.S. Ishwarappa is one person who has done that. We also understand this morning message has been sent to former Chief Minister Jagdish Tytler also to step aside. There are several other names doing the rounds. So you are looking at a huge churn in the state BJP. Despite the state government facing anti-incumbency, the BJP going for a cleanup act, ensuring that senior leaders make way for younger leaders here. And also in seats where the BJP believes there's high anti-incumbency and the sitting MLA might not win, you will see newer candidates there. For a long time, we've spoken about a Gujarat model of replacing sitting MLAs. Perhaps that will happen, not to the same magnitude, but a lesser magnitude in Karnataka.
So Harish, what I gauge from your analysis is that the older generation will have to make way for the younger lot to take over. There are many political heavyweights who have stepped aside, And I'm sure that the BJP is aware that this could lead to some kind of disgruntlement and discontent as well.
Absolutely. We are looking at visuals from Shimoga, where you have Ishwarappa's supporters protesting, burning tires and protesting on the road. We are also, in fact, getting reports that Mr. Shatta's supporters are also miffed with this decision. But the party says this is a decision that has to be made because you can't have a new government if the BJP does come to power with several former chief ministers part of it, and the transition has to happen. There is also the other thought saying there are MLAs who won from a constituency for the last 5-6 times, but the BJP wants them to move to a new constituency, get out of the safe seat and widen the party base. But some of them are reluctant to do that. Perhaps they will also be shown the door.
Perhaps that's the churning that is happening within the BJP right now. Harish, what is the thinking that you see? The fact that BJP took longer than its other political competitors to come out with this list. What took them so long to decide on all these names compared to a JDS or the Congress party?
Well, what the sources within the BJP are telling us is that one was ensuring that all these seniors make way and there's no untoward incident or ugly incident once the list is out. That is on the way right now. That process is on. We have seen over the last few hours that happening. Second is the internal reports of the BJP have indicated that there might be anywhere between 35 to 40 seats that the sitting MLAs might not win. The BJP central leadership wanted to have new faces there. The state leadership indicated that perhaps there are no alternatives to some of these leaders. So it will be impossible to get 40 new leaders to contest in these seats. So there has been a lot of discussion on that as well. The third aspect is there are leaders who don't want to move out from their stronghold. You have Somana. The BJP wants him to contest against Sitharaman from Varuna, but he's an MLA from Bangalore. He's not very keen moving out of Bengaluru. So there has been hectic lobbying. At the same time, B.S. Yediyurappa, remember, very abruptly came back from Delhi yesterday. He wanted a first list to be out as soon as possible. Remember, day after, the official notification of Karnataka election happens, which means the nomination process starts and goes on till 20th, and the BJP is yet to announce its first list. So B.S. Yediyurappa conveyed this to the High Command, saying that in several constituencies where it's a tight finish or a tight fight between the Congress and the BJP, perhaps declaring candidates late might hit the party's chances.
All right, Harish Upadhyay getting us all the details on that very important story. Moving on and getting you some more important news in response to media queries regarding the Chinese official spokesperson comments on the recent visit of the Home Minister of India to the Indian state of Arunachal Pradesh. The official spokesperson, Shri Arindam Bagchi from the MEA has said, and I'm quoting, "We completely reject the comments made by the Chinese official spokesperson. Indian leaders routinely travel to the state of Arunachal Pradesh and they do it like any other state of India. Arunachal Pradesh is and will always remain an integral and an inalienable part of India. Objecting to such visits does not stand to reason and will not change the ground reality," unquote. This is a clear indication of New Delhi's position, which they have asserted on the global platform in front of Beijing as well, that any kind of posturing or aggressive stance by the Chinese is not going to cut ice with India, keeping in mind that Arunachal Pradesh and the villages where the Chinese have made this move of renaming these villages is not something that India accepts at all. Minister Amit Shah was in the state of Arunachal Pradesh. There's a special program under which the border areas, especially the villages, are being developed. On that, there's a word that had come in from the Chinese official. Abhishek with us on the broadcast. Abhishek, the reiteration of position by New Delhi to the Chinese.
Of course, and Anusha, we should also see this in the context of India's increasing engagement with Northeast, and where Indian ministers, Indian Prime Minister and other senior ministers and leaders, they have regularly been visiting Northeast, and Arunachal being part of, the bordering with Tibet. It has been very essential to, to express this feeling, this sentiment that Arunachal is very much part of India, because Chinese side has always rejected and they have always opposed senior Indian leaders visiting Arunachal Pradesh, because they have been, claiming it as part of their extended southern Tibet, which India has always contested, and Arunachal Pradesh is very much part of India, and hence if any senior leader like Home Minister Amit Shah goes there, he addresses the rally and he lives there for a night, He stays there for a night. It should not be an issue with the Chinese authority. This is the message that Indian Ministry of External Affairs has conveyed to the Chinese side today.
All right. Thank you, Abhishek, for getting us all the details on that very important story. The reiteration of the official position from New Delhi. Shifting our focus to some more breaking news coming in. Uttar Pradesh police has left with gangster and politician Atiq Ahmed from Gujarat Sabarmati jail for Prayagraj. Over 30 cops are travelling with him. These are the visuals which are coming from Rajasthan border. My colleague Janak Dave is joining us live from Rajasthan border, getting us more details. Janak, हमें बताइए कितना लंबा सफर है और आगे क्या अपेक्षा की जा सकती है?
देखिए लगभग 150 किलोमीटर का सफर कट चुका है और आप देखिए यहाँ पे जो उत्तर प्रदेश पुलिस है वो यहाँ पर अभी पहरा भर रही है। दरअसल ये राजस्थान का बिछीवाड़ा पुलिस थाना है जो डूंगरपुर जिले में लगता है और यहाँ पर अतीक अहमद को अभी उतारा गया है। दरअसल काफिले की एक गाड़ी है वो खराब हुई और इसके चलते वो उसका इंतजार कर रहे हैं और इसी के चलते वो दूसरी गाड़ी जब तक आती है तब तक अतीक अहमद को यहाँ पर बिछीवाड़ा पुलिस थाने का जो एक कमरा है वहाँ पर रखा गया है और ये सुरक्षाकर्मी हैं जो 32 सुरक्षाकर्मी हैं जो काफिले में अतीक अहमद के साथ रहे, उसमें 2 एसपी तबके के, 4 डिप्टी एसपी तबके के, उसके अलावा ये जवान आप देख रहे हैं सभी के यहाँ बॉडी वॉर्न कैमरे लगे हुए हैं जहाँ से फीड रिकॉर्ड हो रही है। आप देखें जैसे वो पीएसआई हैं उनके साथ बॉडी वॉर्न कैमरा है और ये जो पीआई अभी आ रहे हैं पुलिस इंस्पेक्टर उनके शरीर पर भी बॉडी वॉर्न कैमरे लगे हुए हैं। तो ये फीड लगातार उसमें कैप्चर हो रही है और साथ ही में थोड़ी देर बाद ये काफिला यहाँ से निकलेगा। दरअसल साबरमती जेल से जब निकला वो लगभग 150 किलोमीटर का सफर तय कर चुके हैं और अभी भी बताया जा रहा है कि 20 घंटे से ज़्यादा वक्त लगेगा यहाँ से प्रयागराज पहुँचने में। तो पूरी तरीके से तैयारी काफिले के साथ यहाँ पर है। AK-47 इंसास राइफल के साथ 32 पुलिसकर्मी हैं जो काफिले में उनके साथ है और पूरे तगड़े बंदोबस्त के साथ यहाँ राजस्थान सीमा काफिला आज एंटर हो चुका है। अब राजस्थान के चित्तौड़गढ़ कोटा होते हुए मध्य प्रदेश का शिवपुरी और फिर झांसी होके ये पूरा काफिला है वो उत्तर प्रदेश तक पहुंचेगा। इस तरीके की फिलहाल अभी जो रूट है वो अतीक का वो बताया जा रहा है।
Janak Dave getting us all the details from the Rajasthan border. Atiq Ahmed facing trial in multiple cases including the Umeshpal murder case. Over 30 cops are with him as this entire moves towards the borders of Uttar Pradesh. 150 kilometers past. The journey will be a long one for Atiq Ahmed. We'll continue tracking that and much more here on CNN News 18 for now. Slipping into a very short.
In this country, which doesn't really exist. If you see any of the flagship schemes of the Prime Minister, Awas Yojana, Kisan Yojana, Mudra Yojana, or any other Yojana, you will find that minorities have a share of 30 to 35%. Is that discrimination? When a toilet is built, and 11 crore toilets have been built, it has been built for Shilpa, Sultana and Sandra. Is that discrimination? The fact of the matter is that no less than 6 major Muslim countries have given the highest civilian honor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Are those Muslim countries doing it against the interests of Muslims? Because this question is raised on the front of by many of these so-called countries, and they say that look what is happening to Muslims in India. So therefore that question has to be contextualized, that look at the situation of Muslims in other countries including Pakistan, including say Sudan, including Iraq, Iran, and look at the position of Muslims in India, and therefore that comparison has to be made. Now addressing Mr. Majid Memon's question, these days Mr. Majid Memon is in TMC. Previously he was in NCP, which is an ally of the Congress. The Congress party has still, from starting of Lok Sabha to right now, has given only 5% or 6% representation to Muslims, and that to one particular community amongst the Muslims, not to the Paswandas. The population of Muslims is 14%. Why haven't they given it to commensurate to their population?
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, currently on an official visit to United States, has made a stern remark against Western perceptions against India. Speaking at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, discussing the resilience and growth of the Indian economy, said that the investors should the country on ground instead of relying on pre-built Western perceptions. She also added that the Muslim minority in India is continuously growing and the community is faring far better in India than Pakistan. She also added that several numbers of Muslim sects in the neighboring country are also dwindling. Sitharaman also urged the World Trade Organization to become proactive in the country for the revival of the Indian economy post-pandemic. Let's listen into Nirmala Sitharaman.
India has the second largest Muslim population in the world. and that population is only growing in numbers. If there is a perception, or if there's in reality, their lives are difficult or made difficult with the support of the state, which is what is implied in most of these write-ups, I would ask, will this happen in India, in the sense, will the Muslim population be growing than what it was in 1947? As opposed to, let us say, I take the name of the country and therefore the contrast can be sharper, as opposed to Pakistan, which was formed at the same time. India was divided into two, Pakistan. Pakistan declared itself an Islamic country, but however is said, minorities will be protected. Every minority has been dwindling in its number, or if I may use the word which is harsher, decimated in Pakistan. Even some of the Muslim sects have also been decimated. Violence prevails against Muhajirs, Shia, and every other group you can name, which is not accepted by the mainstream, I don't know, Sunnis probably. Whereas in India, you would find every strand of Muslim doing their business, their children getting educated, fellowships are being given by the government. So across the board in India, if violence is happening to make Muslims
Welcome back. Congress leader Jagdish Tytler appeared before the Central Bureau of Investigation today in the national capital and submitted his voice sample. This is in connection with the Pul Bangash Gurudwara case related to the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. Central Forensic Science Laboratory, or CFSL, will examine his voice sample. Tytler said that if any kind of evidence is found against him, he is ready to hang himself. That's the word he gave to the press and media which were present outside. Remember, Jagdish Tytler is the second top Congress leader suspected for his alleged role in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots after Sachin Kumar. Sachin Kumar stands convicted for life and is serving jail time for his involvement in the riots. The CBI had filed about 3 closure reports, and nearly after 3 decades, once again the case continues to haunt the Congress leader. Reactions.
Who says I recorded a statement?
So you came here to give your voice sample.
I don't want to say anything.
Why, sir?
I want let them do it. Let the government do their own job. What have you done? What have I done? Which have you? See again, you are one person. You are one person who makes a person something. What have you done? What have you done? What have I done?
Sir, if you
yourself said 25 years and now you tell me what you have done. कौन सा आरोप लगाया है?
सर आपको मेन
कौन सा आरोप लगाया? एक जना पुट करे सर कौन सा आरोप? It's nothing to do with that 84 thing.
Sir, you regret about the entire incident which happened?
If there is one evidence, no, I'm prepared to hang myself. Let me tell you, if there was evidence, one evidence, they would have registered a FIR against me. 30 years they have not done it. They're still doing an inquiry. And now you're asking me that look at the way kind of things which they're saying to me. बिल्कुल गलत बात है, झूठी बात है. कोई case 84 का नहीं है. There is something else which they wanted my voice. One statement they wanted me to. This nothing to do with 84 rights. Nothing to do with it. There's another somebody had put a complaint that Mr. Tytler said something. So they wanted to know if I had said this. But there's another case which they wanted my voice. So I've given my voice.
So, but that case was also related.
You ask them. If you ask them, if that is the case, then it will be something makes it.
Cutting across to my colleague Anshul, who's joining us live from the newsroom. Anshul, tell us the case so far, the evidence so far. Eyewitnesses have come forward and given certain statements. There's a sting operation also which has been cited against Jagdish Tytler. What is the evidence that exists against him? It's been more than 3 decades that we have not seen justice in this case.
Well, that's right, Anusha. So it has been more than 3 decades, almost 4 decades now since this entire incident had happened. And this time around, the CBI had opened this file in the year 2018. And the CBI has already submitted its closure report in this entire matter at least 3 times. But when these new evidences came, what are these new evidences? Basically, the entire case is now based on a sting operation. And actually, these are 5 videos that were put to the public domain through a press conference by Manjeet Singh GK, who was the then president of Sikh Gurudwara Prabandhak Committee. committee, and he had come out and put out those sting operations in public view, where he alleged that these sting operations actually relate to the 1984 riots, and how Jagdish Tytler was actually involved in instigating the mob to attack against the Sikh community, people who were actually very, very helpless at that point in time. And now the CBI has decided to take those sting operations as a proof, and based on those proofs, the CBI is trying to corroborate it with the voice of Jagdish Tytler, and that is the reason why the CFSL, which is the forensic lab for the CBI, had called Jagdish Tytler today to record his voice sample. His voice sample has been recorded, which would now be matched to the voice in that sting operation. What does the CBI has at this point in time apart from these videos? CBI does not have much in this entire case at this point in time, because their entire case is now based on the statements of eyewitnesses and the victims, and hence it is going to be a very uphill task for the CBI to go ahead and prove this in front of the court of direct involvement of Jagdish Tytler in that entire matter. And that is the reason why we are seeing that Jagdish Tytler is not only very defiant but also very confident that he is going to get away with this time around as well, because the CBI does not seem to have any tangible proof that could actually tie Jagdish Tytler to this entire matter.
Thank you, Anshul, for getting us all the details on that very important story. Let's see if it'll be 4 decades in 2024. So if after 4 decades the case is proven beyond reasonable doubt in a court of law or not. We'll continue tracking that. Some more reactions on the story. Listen.
84 में इतने दंगे हुए, 5000 सिखों का कत्लेआम हुआ और हजारों गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जलाए गए और बहन बेटियों की इज्जत लूटी गई, तो वो किसने? सरकार ने नहीं देखा। सरकार ने जब करवाया है तो उनको सरकार कैसे सजा देगी उनको? हमें अभी तक 40 साल होने को आए, हमें अभी तक इंसाफ नहीं मिला। जो इंसाफ मिलना था हमें नहीं मिला इंसाफ। हम दर भटक रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे रुल रहे हैं। अभी तक हमारे बच्चों को नौकरियां नहीं दी हैं किसी ने भी, एक ही पहली सरकार ने भी, और ना ही वो उनको छोड़ देते हैं जिन्होंने ये काम किया है, उनको छोड़ देते हैं जिन्होंने सरेआम कत्लेआम करवाया, उनको छोड़ देते हैं, उनको सड़कों पे घूमने देते हैं। ये कहाँ का इंसाफ है? हम जाएं तो जाएं, कहाँ जाएं? कौन सी सरकार से इंसाफ मांगे कि हमारे गुरु ग्रंथ साहब की बेदबी की उन्होंने, हमारे आदमियों को जिंदा जला दिया, मार दिया। हम इतना बड़ा जिगरा लेके इसी दिल्ली में, इसी इंडिया में घूम रहे हैं कि हमें कहीं से तो इंसाफ मिले, लेकिन हम जाएं तो कौन सी सरकार के पास जाएं हम जो हमें इंसाफ देगा?
है कि हम इसी उम्मीद में हैं कि हमें जस्टिस मिले, हमें इंसाफ मिले, क्योंकि सारी दुनिया जानती है कि 84 में देखो 5000 हमारे सिख जो है मारे गए थे, तो वो ऐसे तो नहीं मारे गए, किसी ने तो उसको मारा है ना। तो अगर जगदीश टाइटलर के ऊपर वो जो आरोप लगे हैं तो वो आरोप सिद्ध होने चाहिए और उनको सजा मिलनी चाहिए। साइड का रहने वाला तो नहीं था, मैं तो ज़्यादातर साउथ दिल्ली और जमुना पार के इलाकों के बारे में जानता हूँ, उस साइड में रहता था मैं, वहाँ के जो कुछ हुआ जानता हूँ। बाकी यहाँ के बारे में जो सुना है कि टाइटलर ने सिखों के खिलाफ लोगों को भड़काया और उनको मरवाया, वो जानता हूँ, मैंने सुना है। हमने ऐसा सुना है कई बार कि उनको डराया जाता है, धमकाया जाता है, धमकी दी जाती है कि तुम्हारे साथ ये कर दिया जाएगा या तुम्हारे लड़के के साथ ऐसा कर दिया जाएगा। इसीलिए जो हाई विक्टिम है वो मतलब सामने नहीं आते, डर जाते हैं, क्योंकि उनको सपोर्ट नहीं मिलती। अगर पहले की सरकार ने अगर कुछ किया होता, कार्रवाई की होती, तो आज वो उनको सजा मिल गई होती। लेकिन अब जो बीजेपी की सरकार है और वो कोशिश कर रही है, उन्होंने सज्जन कुमार को भी अंदर किया है और उनके खिलाफ भी लड़ाई लड़ रही है और हो सकता है इनको भी सजा हो।
ये वो मामला है जिसमें ये एक स्टिंग ऑपरेशन में ये कहते हुए पाए गए हैं कि जब 1984 हो रहा था उस समय राजीव गांधी के साथ ये दिल्ली की सड़कों पर मुआयना कर रहे थे, ये देखने के लिए भी कितने कत्लेआम हुआ, कैसे हुआ, क्या नहीं हुआ, उसकी जानकारी इकट्ठी कर रहे थे। और भी बहुत कुछ उन्होंने उसमें बोला है। ये अपेक्षा करते हैं कि ये मामला आगे बढ़ेगा और आभार है प्रधानमंत्री जी का कि इसकी जांच वापस से पुनः ठीक ढंग से हो रही है, क्योंकि ये बार बार ये कहते हैं कि मेरा कुछ मामला नहीं है, मेरे पर कोई सीबीआई का केस नहीं है। अपेक्षा करते हैं कि जल्द ये शिकंजा कसा जाएगा।
ये केस जब सीबीआई ने जगदीश टाइटलर को यूपीए सरकार में क्लीन चिट दी, उसके बाद दिल्ली सिख गुरुद्वारा मैनेजमेंट कमेटी के मेरे जनरल सेक्रेटरी रहते मैंने एक एप्लीकेशन फाइल की कोर्ट में कि हमारे पास और विटनेस हैं और जगदीश टाइटलर की क्लीन चिट को वापस लिया जाए, जिसके चलते सीबीआई ने माना। मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने एक विटनेस हरपाल कौर ने 164 में बयान दिए, जिसमें उन्होंने बताया कि किस तरह पुल बंगश पे जगदीश टाइटलर आए, उन्होंने कत्लेआम कराया और ये कत्लेआम के सीधे दोषी हैं, इन्होंने खुद 1984 का कत्लेआम कराया, जिसके चलते अब सीबीआई बाउंड है उनकी फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के लिए। और मैं दावे से अब कह सकता हूं कि बहुत जल्दी जगदीश टाइटलर, जिसको कांग्रेस हमेशा क्लीन चिट देती थी और कहती थी कि ये बेकसूर है, वो सलाखों के पीछे होगा।
Well, let's see if the law is able to catch up in this particular case or not. Moving on to another important development of the day, in a major jolt to the Stalin government in Tamil Nadu, the apex court has allowed RSS to conduct a route march across the state. A special bench presided by Justice V. Ramasubramaniam also dismissed all the later special leave petitions. RSS the advocate representing the organization before the Supreme Court, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, he argued that the march is being targeted and this is not some kind of a terror organization. Mr. Jethmalani also argued that it is the DMK government responsibility to provide protection if there are any threats to this march. Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, who represented the government, said that the march cannot pass through every street in the state. Earlier, the state government was very wary of allowing the march at places affected by the PFI ban. Remember, on the 10th of February, the Madras High Court had allowed RSS march and commented that the protests are essential for a healthy democracy. This is a division bench that had given the order. Some reactions on the story.
Well, that is the matter, but the Supreme Court had ordered, so the government will look into it and take necessary steps in that regard, because it is for the government to decide on this. So let us wait and what the government takes. We will wait and see.
We welcome this judgment by the Supreme Court, and it is a slap on the DMK government, the face of the DMK government, and it is shame that this government should feel shameful, and also it should regret and apologize before the people of Tamil Nadu for trying to, insult or stop a disciplined organization's route march, their programs. There are, fundamentalists waiting to attack RSS. So it is a duty of the government to catch hold of terrorists or the persons who are trying to trouble.
You saw the order today. What were the arguments that were given out by the Tamil Nadu government to actually stop the RSS from taking out?
At the moment, all we can say is what the Madras High Court says has been upheld, and they allowed an unconditional procession by the RSS in the 43 districts 43 areas that they had sought permission for that procession. There were a number of counters to that. First of all, the Tamil Nadu government can't deprive people of their fundamental rights on the ground that a banned terrorist organization, is creating trouble. Secondly, all the incidents which they gave, the state of Tamil Nadu referred to, all the acts of arson, bomb throwing, etc., by PFI accused persons, right? They were all before the ban. In fact, after the PFI ban, there had been no incidents of violence. So the Tamil Nadu government was actually, completely unjustified in it seems to be a political decision not to allow the bans. In this case, the reasons given were absurd.
डीएमके को पता है, सरकार को पता है कि लॉ एंड ऑर्डर जो पीएफआई जैसे संगठन है, जो उनके पॉलिटिकल विंग है, जो जिहादी संगठन है, जो फॉरेन फंडेड एनजीओज हैं, जो फॉरेन फंडेड लोग हैं, वो पत्थरबाजी करते हैं। आरएसएस कभी नहीं करता है, आरएसएस को भी रिएक्ट भी नहीं करता। सच्चाई तो ये है। आज सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो जजमेंट आया है, इसका हम स्वागत करते हैं। हमें ये जरूर समझना है और देश के सभी नागरिकों से अपील भी करना है, लेकिन आप जरा सोचिए कि किस तरीके से टैक्स पेयर का पैसा बर्बाद किया जा रहा है। इस तरीके के केसेस में किस तरीके से टैक्स पेयर का पैसा जिहादी संगठनों को बचाने के लिए किया जा रहा है।
Well, indeed, a victory for the RSS in the Supreme Court. We'll continue tracking this and much more on the other side of a very quick break. Stay tuned.
Muslims don't have to simply criticize the government for
sake of criticism.
Shehzad, so Majid Memon has welcomed Nirmala Sitharaman's remark that Muslims in India are safer, but he has also said that she shouldn't have compared Muslims in India with that of Pakistan, and also he has said that BJP does not give enough Muslim representation in Lok Sabha. What would you like to say on this?
You know, first of all, there is an ecosystem that tries to create a narrative of Islamophobia that prevails in this country, which doesn't really exist. If you see any of the flagship schemes of the Prime Minister, Awas Yojana, Kisan Yojana, Mudra Yojana, or any other Yojana, you will find that minorities have a share of 30 to 35%. Is that discrimination? When a toilet is built, and 11 crore toilets have been built, it has been built for Shilpa, Sultana and Sandra. Is that discrimination? The fact of the matter is that no less than 6 major Muslim countries have given the highest civilian honor to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Are those Muslim countries doing it against the interests of Muslims? Because this question is raised on the front of by many of these so-called countries, and they say that look what is happening to Muslims in India. So therefore that question has to be contextualized. That look at the situation of Muslims in other countries, including Pakistan, including say Sudan, including Iraq, Iran, and look at the position of Muslims in India. And therefore that comparison has to be made. Now addressing Mr. Majid Memon's question, these days Mr. Majid Memon is in TMC. Previously he was in NCP, which is an ally of the Congress. The Congress party has still, from starting of Lok Sabha to right now, has given only 5% or 6% representation to Muslims, and that to one particular community amongst the Muslims, not to the Paswandas. The population of Muslims is 14%. Why haven't they given it to commensurate to their population?
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, currently on an official visit to United States, has made a stern remark against Western perceptions against India. Speaking at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, discussing the resilience and growth of the Indian economy, said that the investors should the country on ground instead of relying on pre-built Western perceptions. She also added that the Muslim minority in India is continuously growing and the community is faring far better in India than Pakistan. She also added that several numbers of Muslim sects in the neighboring country are also dwindling. Sitharaman also urged the World Trade Organization to become proactive in the country for the revival of the Indian economy post-pandemic. Let's listen into Nirmala Sitharaman.
India has the second largest Muslim population in the world. And that population is only growing in numbers. If there is a perception, or if there's in reality, their lives are difficult or made difficult with the support of the state, which is what is implied in most of these write-ups, I would ask, will this happen in India, in the sense, will the Muslim population be growing than what it was in 1947? As opposed to, let us say, I take the name of the country and therefore the contrast can be sharper, as opposed to Pakistan, which was formed at the same time. India was divided into two, Pakistan. Pakistan declared itself an Islamic country, but however is said, minorities will be protected. Every minority has been dwindling in its number.
Welcome back. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, currently on an official visit to United States, has made a scathing remark on the Western perceptions against India. Speaking at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, discussing the resilience and growth of the Indian economy, she said that the investors should visit the country on ground instead of relying on some kind of pre-built Western perceptions about India. She also added that the Muslim minorities in India are growing and thriving much better than various other countries compared to Pakistan. She added that several members of the Muslim community and in the neighboring various countries in the Indian neighborhood are dwindling. Their economies are not doing well. However, India continues to remain a sweet spot. The finance minister also said that the global organizations like World Trade Organization should be proactive and should look at India as the next destination for growth and development.
India has the second largest Muslim population in the world. And that population is only growing in numbers. If there is a perception, or if there's in reality, their lives are difficult or made difficult with the support of the state, which is what is implied in most of these write-ups, I would ask, will this happen in India, in the sense, will the Muslim population be growing than what it was in 1947? As opposed to, let us say, I take the name of the country and therefore the contrast can be sharper, as opposed to Pakistan, which was formed at the same time. India was divided into two, Pakistan. Pakistan declared itself an Islamic country, but however is said, minorities will be protected. Every minority has been dwindling in its number, or if I may use the word which is harsher, decimated in Pakistan. Even some of the Muslim sects have also been decimated. Violence prevails against Muhajirs, Shia, and every other group you can name, which is not accepted by the mainstream, I don't know, Sunnis probably. Whereas in India, you would find every strand of Muslim doing their business, their children getting educated, fellowships are being given by the government. So across the board in India, if violence is happening to make Muslims get affected, itself is a fallacy as a statement. It cannot be so. Each province and its police are different.
निर्मला सीतारमन जो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर है, उन्होंने वेस्टर्न मीडिया को स्लैम किया है कि वो प्रोपेगेंडा के तहत काम कर रही है।
हमने देखा है वो
भारत के जो मुस्लिम हैं वो काफ़ी सुरक्षित हैं, पाकिस्तान से ज़्यादा।
उनको हमने देखा, उनका ये कहना था कि बगैर हिंदुस्तान में आए आप इस तरह का स्टेटमेंट दे रहे हैं। ग्लोबलाइजेशन का ज़माना है, यहाँ माइनॉरिटी के साथ किस तरह का बिहेवियर हो रहा है ये सबको पता है। अब ये जो खबर छपी है, इसके लिए अमेरिका या इंग्लैंड या यूरोप के लोगों को हिंदुस्तान में आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, तो पूरी दुनिया में खबर छप रही है और इस पर प्रधानमंत्री मौन हैं। ये जो दोहरी नीति है लोगों को बेवकूफ़ बनाने के लिए, इसलिए निर्मला सीतारमन जी ने जो दलील दिया है वहाँ, वो दलील में कोई जान नहीं है, कोई आधार नहीं है। कहते रहिए, हाँ ये अलग बात है कि अमेरिका की सरकार या यूरोप की कोई सरकार आपके खिलाफ कदम इसलिए नहीं उठाए कि भारत एक बहुत बड़ा बाजार है।
Good evening and a warm welcome. This is CNN News 18 and you're watching Plain Speak with me, Grihatul Siddiqui. Now remember, this picture that I'm about to play on the wall over here, that Rahul Gandhi in fact had tweeted in 2018. There he is, flanked by two of his best men in Rajasthan. And the caption that he had put out this picture with read, "The United Colours of Rajasthan." Well, looks like the unity didn't last all that long, because defying the Congress's diktat, which said that this protest that he is going to undertake is against the party's interest, as also an